go.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Unclicked podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Since I started this podcast, I've talked to you about being on here, and it's taken till the second season, now doing it with Fudger and ourbmx, BMX, but we have Brad Sims on Unclicked. Welcome to San Diego, and welcome to the podcast, Brad.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you inviting me on here.
Yeah, thanks for coming down, and thanks, Justin. He's the new fit, or I don't know if it's officially new, but you've been filming all the fit stuff lately too. So
since about January.
Cool. So Justin's here sitting in with Brad, and
yeah, I'm glad this happened because it was, I think, comment wise, it was definitely like get Brad on the podcast, get Brad on the podcast. So I hit you up, and like literally like 2 weeks later, you flew in, kind of like, oh, fit needed a couple of things with you, and just kind of worked out, and we're here. So.
Thanks for setting that up, Fudger. And Brad, thank you for coming. What's been up, man? We were hanging out a bunch a couple years ago when you were filming Christian's and yourselves X Games Real BMX part, but I haven't seen you in a while. What's the life of Brad like nowadays?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We went to NORA Cup and we worked on the Real BMX part.
And you were in San Diego a bunch.
Yeah. But didn't you go with us for the one in 2019 as well?
To NorCal?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you did the roof to up rail, there was a lot of memories on that trip.
And I drove by that massive wall ride that you did to pull back in your X Games part yesterday, and I was like, God, that thing is so fucking huge. Like just the big bank to wall, like the 7-foot bank, and then it's like you're like 8 feet up to the pull back in, like
the one in Chula.
The one in Chula, yeah.
Wallzilla,
yeah.
Dude,
Oh my God,
ridiculous.
dude.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that wall ride in forever, and I'm like, oh my God. There's Brad wall marks, and then somebody else like did the gap to wall, and they're like 6 feet under. I swear.
That photo looks fake. It's like, oh yeah, Brad did the wall ride. It looks like he put him 10 feet higher, like Photoshop.
That was a challenge, man. That was probably one of the hardest things I had to do.
Damn.
Yeah. But for the most part, what's up with me? Man, I've just been taking it one day at a time, just enjoying being on my bike every day, and just for a while I was kind of angry about a lot of things. Stuff just wasn't going the way at least I envisioned. And
was that around the time when you're filming the video parts and getting medals and X Games, like that time, and then, or was it a different era?
Maybe about a year and a half. Yeah, I'll say about a year and a half ago. I don't know what it was. Well, I knew what it was. I just felt like those times where you're kind of complaining, you're looking for excuses, you're blaming, and excuses and blame will always be there for you, like no matter what. And I just couldn't figure it out, like what do I need to do to make things come to fruition? So I just kind of sat there, honed down, and just kind of thought of an idea, like what do I need to do? I was broke, didn't have any money. I started selling posters. Like I hit up Cody York, and Cody, he gifted me a photo that I shot in Oregon about 2.5 years ago, and he said, you can have this photo. I was like, well, thank you. So I spoke to Jeremy and Felice. He gave me the information for a little place down in Austin. They made posters. So I ordered 50 of them. I didn't have much, but I had a few $100s to my name. So I ordered those posters, made a bunch of stories, and so some autograph ones, and people were buying them left and right. I was like, oh wow! So I started earning some money, but I couldn't really figure out like what to do with it, like how to put myself in position. So I saved that money. Then I moved back to Austin and started kind of just gradually started riding.
So first, I have to apologize for the tree trimmers that are definitely going to be on and off on this episode.
Static in the background.
So this was all after X Games, correct? Like because it feels like you've come in like waves. Like there's the Hoffman and Target days, and then you were traveling around for a while, and it seemed like, I think you mentioned you didn't even ride for almost like a couple of years, and then you came back, and then the X Games things, you were in that twice, and you won fan favorite, you got a couple of medals, and then it was another low, and you're like kind of figuring out what you were doing.
Which is really crazy, because when you're invited to X Games, as someone, you'd already like had a career before that, and then it was like, all right, X Games, that's going to put you back on the map, like we were all hyped, like, dude, you're going to get a medal in this, it's going to blow the career back up, like everyone knows, like you're back, you're down to film video parts, and it was kind of like, you got the X Games money, you got the medals, but then you were back at this like, what the hell, like what do I do now? You're selling posters. Like,
yeah, that was kind of.
It was supposed to set you up, but all of a sudden you're like, fuck, what's the next step?
Yeah, I thought it was, it was going to set me up and, help my career out a bit more, but I don't know if it did or I don't know. It definitely did.
It did,
but not to. I guess not how I envisioned it.
It didn't like set you up for
Yeah.
it. Like it was like, oh, it made me do well for a little while, and then it was like back to where it was, right? So, I guess I kind of want to rewind a little bit because I feel like talking about where you came from and how you kind of got into this crazy travel routine really cues it up because you are how old these days?
34.
So, and you've essentially, and I just by what you said, one of my questions was like, was it calculated what you did? And apparently it was, but like going through that whole process of like where you were and getting on the covers of magazines and feature interviews and sponsored by Target and all that stuff is like important to lay out, I think, so usually I don't talk about, where, like how'd you get into riding? Like, but like for you, I think that's pretty important because I've heard you say like, essentially like, I don't think I would be alive or I would be in jail if it wasn't for BMX. Is that a correct?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Maryland.
Yep.
Correct. And I know your uncle got you into riding, and I saw a photo. You posted a photo of him recently, and I was like, damn, it's just the Sims family is just gifted, just fucking like brick houses.
Everybody is. Everybody in my bloodline, everybody's super built. Yeah. Yeah. As far as that goes, I say yeah. Without BMX, I might be here, I might not. Definitely would not be sitting here with you all having this conversation right now. But, man, it's kind of hard to talk about because it's so much. It's so.
Just a lot of memories.
Where to start, where to focus in on type thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to start in the beginning? Because Fudger was saying we don't really ever start with anybody like how did it all start, but you do have like even before Target and Hoffman,
Bulldog
it was like
bikes.
Bulldog.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
We can start in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause
I just think I don't know. I honestly know tidbits, but I don't. I've known you for 15 years or something. I feel like, right? Like I remember.
More than that.
Yeah, like
that's
Saunders and Binghamton or something like that. I think that was the first time I ever
We're
met
staying
you.
in the hotel and I was snoring.
You were snoring way too loud, and you ruined my night. And I remember I told you about it, and
I
it
was
was
15.
like
I met you when I was 15.
15,
Damn.
yeah. All right. So you were literally like, I just remember your face. You were
more
like,
than half your life ago.
like, you just gave me that typical like, what are you talking about? I was like, what the fuck?
I do remember that. I don't remember the hotel, but I was there riding. It was 15 and under.
Wow.
Kramer was riding, some other guy, and
Some other guy.
You remember Kramer?
I remember
always.
Kramer. Yeah, I remember Scotty. Scotty won. I got second, and it was just
Hell
some wild contest.
Yeah.
But it was. We stayed there. Ryan was in the room. Was he in there too?
Maybe, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know you let us sleep. You let us stay in your room.
Yeah.
And I ruined your night. Though I was full on freight train.
No, it's all good. So, I guess like, what was the town like where you grew up? Because I know it's Maryland, but it's not Baltimore. Is it outside of Baltimore?
Yeah, I'm from Southern Maryland. I'm closer to D.C.
Okay.
Closer to D.C., more like suburban areas, but we moved around so much during my upbringing. My mother was never content with where we lived. I don't know why, but I think she experienced the same thing in her childhood. So it was constantly moving around from place to place.
Yeah.
So we just really never put our feet on the ground and stay anywhere.
And then what? So you got into riding because I've asked you before, how come you traveled so much? And I like that story that everyone's like, why don't you ever go home? But once you started traveling and fell in love with it in the beginning of the career, you kind of just like were like, well, this is a better option for me, correct? To stay on the road and do the BMX thing instead of going back home where you felt like it might not have been that secure of a place for you.
Well, yeah, that was part of it. Family drama. Nothing was stable at home. And when I started riding, when I turned pro,
Travel options open.
the travel options open, and the per diem checks were there. So I wasn't making much money, but the per diem checks was there.
With like filming and photos and stuff. Like
it's like if he was on the road for 30 days, then he got $600 in food or whatever it is back then. Yeah. So
these contests that I had no interest in riding. Like, oh hey, Brad, you want to go to Worlds? I'm like, yeah, sure, send me to Worlds. And they give me $500. That'd be for 2 weeks. So instead of I'd go for the duration of the contest, then I would end up flying back. So I'd have I had money for the month, and I would do that repeatedly until things until they got better, at least until they seemed to get better. Mm-hmm. But I would go back home, see the same thing, same people, hang around the same block, getting in trouble, and so this isn't for me.
You had this ticket out too that these people didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, where are your childhood friends these days?
Yeah, one actually moved to Austin not long ago, but for the majority of my childhood friends are in Maryland. Yeah. Some are in prison, some are. Yeah, most of them are hanging out in Maryland.
Yeah, doing the same shit.
No, some of them have socially norm jobs, but some of them have normal lives. Some of them are living not so normal lives.
Yeah. So you started traveling like crazy, and as me being a young kid, just a fan, I would look at you like almost like you were a nomad. Like you'd be over in this country for that long, and then I just see photos or video of you over in this country for that long. When did you start kind of just fully not going home and just realizing like I'm just gonna stay on the road? Because that was like a chapter of your life too. You've been to 100 countries, over 100 countries.
104.
I don't know anybody that's even come close to that.
104.
And we know a lot of travelers, so you're on like another level of traveling.
That started, I wouldn't say not the first year, because the first year I got to really travel around was during the first season of the X Games Street. So it was just, go on one trip, go for X Games, come back home. So yeah, X Games Dubai, Brazil, Mexico.
Oh yeah.
So those were just short trips. And I didn't really understand why everybody would go to the contest. Then they immediately fly home afterwards. And I was like, why are we doing this? This doesn't make sense to me. Why am I not? I'm going to fly to the other side of the world. And
to ride a contest course and zip back.
It didn't make sense to me. And not until I went to Germany and I met Sergio. Sergio, he asked me, hey, what are you doing after the contest? You want to come to Spain? And I already had a round-trip ticket. I said, well, I can't go back. I don't know if they'll rebook me a ticket. So I left. And from that day on, I said, I'm never buying a return ticket unless I absolutely have to go back home.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I think I was like 23. So the next time I booked a ticket,
one way.
No, I didn't. It wasn't a one way, but I just gradually walked myself into it. So you know what? I'm gonna go for 1 month and see how that works out. So I had them book me a ticket, for like the 5th, and I was all right, fly me back at the end of the month. So I did that. So I just gradually.
And you had no plan?
Nope. That was during the MySpace era.
Yeah.
So I would because
for kids that don't know, that was before Facebook.
Friendster.
Nah, I never.
So what? You'd get like a ticket to a contest or a filming trip or whatever, and then after that, it was like go on MySpace and see if there's any kids around that or people.
Or you'd meet people at the contest
because you were a kid at the
too,
time.
right?
So
I meet people at the contest. They would either invite me to their country or
their country.
Yeah, they invite me back. They invite me to their homes in their country, or I'd be on MySpace because you had your like the top 10, whatever.
Top 8.
Yeah, you got to rank your friends in order.
Did you have it?
Oh yeah, I loved MySpace. When it disappeared, I got over it. I was like, I was a MySpace kid. I like that.
So you had your top there, and you have all these friend requests and random messages and people commenting on things, and some like, hey man, you should come to Poland or come here, some of these places. So I write them back. Okay, cool.
I'm coming.
So they booked me a flight. I'd fly to Germany or Italy or somewhere. And while I was out there, I'd send those guys a message. Like, hey, man, if you want to come out here, hang out. I was like, all right, well, hop on a train straight over to that country. And I'd go stay with them. They would put me up for a few days. Then I'd do that for the whole month. And that's how I built this huge network.
I mean, that has to produce some awkward situations, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know these people, but at the same time, it's like an amazing amazing set of memories.
You get it.
Have. Like,
I mean,
everyone else has to go home because they got whatever reason they're locked down to whatever back home, and you're just like, I'm not going back home because the world's my home.
And if you ever find yourself in a random country and you meet somebody and they're friendly and you feel safe about it, and they invite you to their home for dinner and you feel safe, of course, like if you don't feel safe, don't do it. But if you feel safe, fucking do it, because that is the realest experience that you'll like. The times that I've ever had like a home cooked meal at somebody's house in Japan or Chile or something like that is like been like the coolest experience. Like, you remember that stuff more than going on the top of some skyscraper and then looking down or something, some touristy ass stuff. So that is and that's what you're in somebody's house.
That's how Brad was living the whole time.
Yeah, you're in somebody's house.
Not
and it's
the
like
tourist
it can't be comfortable. They can't have a spare bedroom, right? Like you're sleeping on floors, you're sleeping and using the cat as a pillow.
I couldn't agree with you more, but not all the time.
Yeah.
I've stayed with rich kids.
Oh,
I've
okay.
stayed with
Beautiful
poor kids,
women.
people that come from all different socioeconomic backgrounds.
Some ugly women.
I think probably one of the wildest houses I stayed in was with this guy Wendy in Ethiopia, Indonesia. Our friend Mesha flew into Jakarta, Indonesia. He picked me up, stayed in his house. It's just a traditional house, Flushing, we had plumbing and everything.
Yeah.
Then we took a train all the way to Surabaya, Indonesia, which is like 20 some hours away. So we got there and walked into Wendy's house, and half of it was inside, half of it was outside. And I'm looking around, like, all right, I guess this will be okay.
Yeah.
And it's got to be okay. It's the only place we have to
Yeah.
stay. So I'm laying on the floor and a rooster runs by me. I'm like, so a rooster ran past my head, and I'm like, man, okay, well, this is what I have to work with. Then you never know what you're going to walk into.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, so much of our lives is like is about control and controlling what you eat and controlling where you sleep and controlling
insecurity.
Yeah, and so like going into a situation like that, the unknown situation, like you and having to deal with it is like a special type of person, like to be okay with it and to continue to be like, yeah, I'm going in the unknown. Sorry, the dog.
It's okay. It's amazing.
The dog hates the tree cutters. We have the perfect storm right now. So
the amount of memories you have compared to even myself as a traveler, it's like just the shit you've done. You've stayed in little yurts in Mongolia and ripped around places I've never even had an opportunity to go to because I've never just like said yes to staying at some kid's house or some person's house, and you just ran with it. And
it's easy to, I mean, nobody wants to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. So constantly putting yourself in these vulnerable situations makes it easy for you to shy away from them.
yeah.
We went to Mongolia. There's not only one rider there spoke English, which is crazy.
Yeah.
'Cause seldom does that actually happen. Usually there's
always somebody. Right?
somebody, a rollerblader around, a skater, somebody will speak English. And it's Mongolia. It wasn't like any languages I was familiar with. And we went out one day, we were riding around with my friend Matt, and all these kids started pointing at me. I was like, whoa, in Mongolia, these Mongolian riders actually know who I am. And they're like, you can hear them talking, it's just, Brad Sims, Brad Sims. So I walk over and try to introduce myself. I'm like, hey, Brad. And I'm like, Brad.
That's it.
They knew BMX English.
Yeah.
They didn't actually know how to speak English.
Yeah.
They, bar spin.
They were like, ice pick up this 20-stair rail for us.
No, that's way too. That's way too much. It was just bar spin, 180, bar spin, like X up or something. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on, but
it's crazy.
But yeah, you run into you either get into one of the most awkward situations or the best situation, but it's always a situation you can kind of navigate around.
Yeah.
There's positive and.
Well, that's what I mean. It takes a certain type of person to navigate around it. Sometimes people just freak out, like there's a lot of people out there that don't travel well, so.
People from these first world countries too, have very fluffed up lives, and they just don't know how to stay on someone's floor where their house is half indoor, half outdoor.
Yeah.
It's a great trait to be able to rough it a little bit and become vulnerable and figure out situations that you have to navigate around.
Have you ever been stuck somewhere, like in a country where you didn't have enough money to get out, or you couldn't access money?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
This is when I lived in Poland. I lived in Poland for about 7-8 months, and while I was there, this was during the time I was driving for Merit. This distributor from there sent me a message from Kazakhstan. He said, "Hey, Brad, we would love to have you over here. Can you come out?" So I looked up online. Okay, I need a visa for Kazakhstan. Took the train to Warsaw. Went to the Kazakh embassy. This was probably the rudest person I ever met at a consulate before in my life. So he looked at me and he goes, "What do you need? What do you want?" I said, "I want to apply for a visa for Kazakhstan." He goes, "Why? Who's inviting you? Where's your invitation?" He said, "What's the number? Give me your phone." Show me the number. And he put the phone straight up. He called him immediately.
Yeah.
And they were speaking Russian. They were talking on the phone. They put the phone down and said, "Okay, well, fill out these papers. $200 and come back and get your visa in like 5 days."
$200 to go to Kazakhstan seems like pretty steep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all the countries, and if you fly to Central Asia, you're going to pay money. You're going to, for Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, all the places.
All the stands.
Yeah.
No more ice in your coffee.
Sorry. Am I bugging you? My bad, Brad.
No, you're not. So got the visa. Flew out. So while I was there, all the riders around, they were super psyched, having a good time. And 2 riders from Kyrgyzstan, from Bishkek. So Almaty and Bishkek are only, it's like a 3-hour drive, not far away at all. They came over, they're talking to me, "Hey, Brad, you should come to Kyrgyzstan." Kyrgyzstan, what's that like? So okay, cool. And while I was there, I was talking to, what's the guy's name? I don't remember his name, but he was just like some business guy. He didn't ride, but he was a businessman, and that was his thing. He thought that he was just going to make a load some money off of selling bike parts.
Yeah.
In Kazakhstan. And Kirill, so he's a great friend of mine to this day. Yeah, Kirill said, "Yeah, you should come to Bishkek. You could stay at my place." I was like, all right. He's like 17, and his parents are there, everybody. And while I was there, I asked the guy, it's Stas, that was his name. I asked him, I said, "Hey, can I go from Kazakhstan to Kyrgyzstan on a single issue visa?" He said, yeah, shouldn't be no problem. And I asked him 2 or 3 times. Then I called around asking people. So while I was there, I packed up my bag. So, I'm going to pack all my things. I'm going to grab my laptop, all my belongings. And I left. It's like 3 days later, so I'll be back in 2 days. Went to Kyrgyzstan, stayed there for a week, filmed a video. And I tried to cross back over into Kazakhstan, and the Border Patrol looked at me and goes, "No, you can't go." So why not? He goes, "Well, you have a single entry visa." I looked, I was like, "Oh my God, this is..." It's like, now I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, my round trip ticket was booked out of Almaty. I'm low on money. So I went right back I hopped in a taxi, went back to Kirill's house. They picked me up. And I said, I ended up having to stay for a whole month in Kyrgyzstan because I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
I had to wait for my pay. And that guy refused to...
The guy Stas.
Yeah, he refused to send me money for a new visa so I could go back into Almaty to catch my flight. So I ended up staying there. Kirill didn't speak much English at the time, so I stayed there and took a private lesson class in Russian so I could communicate with him. I was like, I can't do this, man. I can't walk around with you all day long and have bike talk. It was just, "Brad, bar spin?
Like he just wanted to communicate, but that was all he had.
Yeah. I was like, "Man, my stomach hurts."
Yeah.
Not ice pick. Well, yeah, it feels like an ice pick. And I was like, I need to do something else.
So are you riding all the time? What do you do for that month? Like what?
Oh, I was riding. I filmed a video. If you remember, there's a video of him. I think it was all in black and white, and it said Brad in Eastern Europe.
Okay.
There was like 1 clip filmed, 2 or 3 clips filmed in Serbia, 1 in Poland, and the rest was filmed in Kyrgyzstan.
So is this all just cell phone stuff? Who's?
No, I had a little.
You had a camera?
I had a DSLR, and this guy Will there, he had one.
Okay.
So he helped film.
Because I remember at some point you were definitely hanging out with a guy that could actually film, and you were putting some stuff out, and it was really cool. But I guess, you probably got enough random ass stories to fill the entire day for sure. But what effect do you think all that travel had on your career as a pro rider?
I think in some way, in some ways, it hurt my career in a way because people looked at me and they questioned my work ethic. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, he's sponsored, he's out riding, or he might be riding. He's just in some far off country, hanging out, drinking pina coladas, and doing nothing. So no one really kind of knew what was going on. But that wasn't a thing. I was out riding, meeting riders, eating everywhere. My bike was always with me. It doesn't matter where I go. My bike is with me. So I think people didn't trust my work ethic.
I think it made you bigger as like a worldwide professional because kids saw you in real life. You were everywhere in the world. But we've had this conversation before where sponsors started to think like, oh, if we sponsor Brad, he's the man. He films the dopest clips. He's cool. Everybody likes him. But if we sponsor him, he might disappear over in Asia for 3 months. And damn it, like, you know, his paycheck's going to be for traveling because they just didn't get what you were doing. So what kind of led you back to like ending that and deciding like, all right, well, I need to be a little bit more home based so people can like have trust in me that I'll back their companies? Or was that the reason why you
before, did you feel that from sponsors, I guess?
Yeah, I felt it because people would ask me, well, are you going to be around for a trip? And I'd say, yeah, well, when it's a trip. If it's in August and it's March, why do I need to be in the U.S. right now?
Yeah.
The trip's in August.
Yeah.
It's March. So, yeah, I did. I felt it. And there was one of the most difficult things was just filming, having somebody to consistently film. And this was, I don't even remember. What was
You live too much. You don't remember.
No, there's just two different questions coming from both of you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well,
I don't even remember my question. I was listening now.
Oh, boy.
Well, I just wanted to see, I was curious if you had that feeling from sponsors, you know, whether it was Hoffman or Merritt or, you know, anywhere along the line, like if you were feeling that sort of vibe, like hey, you know, we love you, but you're out in one of the stands and we have no idea, like your ticket back is $3,000 to go to a trip in SoCal, like it's kind of hard, you know, like that type of thing.
I've definitely blown it on a few trips, that's for sure. Or there's times where I used my own money. I flew back. It's like, well, I chose to come out here. Mm-hmm. I'm hanging out. There's no reason why I shouldn't fly myself back unless you are going to do a trip in the country that I'm already in.
Yeah. So I guess also, I mean, I feel like we're jumping around a bunch, so I apologize. But so you had the Target days where they had a crazy travel budget and they sent you off to the worlds and stuff like that. And then for a little while how long did that last?
Target was Hoffman Target. I think that lasted for, I want to say 2.5, 3 years, maybe. The Target thing.
How much was that travel budget? Was it unlimited?
No. It was $15,000.
Okay.
When people heard about me having a big travel budget, I felt like that made it almost impossible for me to pick up a new sponsor after that. They looked at me and they said, okay, well, if we sponsor Brad, he wants some astronomical amount of money for travel. And that wasn't the case. That was never it. I never cared about having some massive travel budget. Like, if you want to give me money to travel and go to places, cool. If not, I'll do it on my own. And so each company I would hit up, it's like, no. I've been told no by probably, I don't know, 90% of companies in BMX.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
that's crazy because you had like such one of the longest street careers ever, mm-hmm. and I seriously think it's just that people just thought you were going to disappear on them. But now that you've come home, not come home, but back domestic, and you've been here, you're starting to pick up some dope sponsors. And I feel like every company's looking at you now. But that took a whole different approach. And I guess that kind of takes us to this new mindset and where Brad's at, and every day just putting content out in front of people and being like, look, motherfuckers, I'm riding. Because you've always been doing it, but now it's like you got the Instagram. It's just been like this constant cell phone coverage and going out and getting clips every day.
Yeah, I had to go through a mind shift change.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's pretty crazy, that whole...
Well, why did you come back? Why did you stop traveling? Sorry, why did you stop? Like,
we're jumping back.
Yeah, like I just want to know why you stopped. Like, why did you come to Austin?
I went to Austin to film the first time I went to Austin to film a bar promo for Merit.
Okay.
And I just decided like I wanted to ride my bike, and it was easier. It's easier for me to be in Austin than out here in Cali. I didn't have. I had one sponsor. No, two sponsors. I was riding for White House.
Yeah.
And Merit, and 50/50s there as well. But I didn't have the means to travel around anymore. I was just kind of broke.
Yeah.
And Austin, that's the second BMX mecca in the U.S. So why not go back to Austin?
And is that kind of leads us back to the posters thing, right? Like that's where you did the posters. You're like, hey, I'm broke. I'm gonna try and finagle something. I'm gonna try and make something work. And then did the Instagram thing come like kind of when you got to Austin and you're like, oh, I'm just
Instagram. I had to think about that for a minute. It took a minute because I had a struggle. I struggled with Instagram at the beginning, like at the genesis of it, because I didn't just start posting bike clips on there. Not for a long time. I was most just posting travel photos.
Yeah.
So, and that was. It's almost like right now the BMX community. Like I don't remember there be. I guess at the beginning there was like a decorum for how you presented your bike riding or whatever on Instagram. Like we would put your mediocre clips and the bangers would be saved for there. But people forget that Stevie and Chad were posting tweet bangers back in the day.
Tweak bangers?
Like on Twitter. They were tweeting clip. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I don't remember that, but
I do. I mean, if you were early on, I was like, so this is what's going on. Like, people are really
They just weren't saving shit.
No, they weren't. So I sat down for a minute and I thought to myself. Like,
well, Chad was working on full parts and not posting them.
He was, but he was also
posting other clips.
Posting wild clips on Twitter, Instagram, everything. So I sat there for a minute.
And Chad kind of still does that. Like his level on Instagram is just as gnarly as as a lot of the stuff on video too.
Well, if we're gonna talk about that though, he does have that. He has a balance. He has a balance. He knows what he's doing with each thing because he'll post like the craziest skate park clip ever, but he doesn't consider himself a professional park rider. So that's just
I'm sure there's a hierarchy to it.
Yeah, he definitely. But Brad, you've had like a completely different mindset on it to where you're like, all right, I filmed these video parts. They've got me medals and they're banger parts, doing my craziest shit. And now I'm selling fucking posters. What? And then it seemed like it got the ball rolling in your head of like, what am I going to do now? Am I going to work a job or am I going to do something else in BMX that can get me shine?
Yeah. Yeah, the gears churning. And I sat there for a minute. That's when, while I was like going through that mind shift change, that's when I got dropped from Merit.
After all this, you're probably just like, what the fuck? Like,
so I'm thinking, all right, a medal, do another X Games medal.
2 years in a row, fan favorite.
2 years in a row. All right, well, yeah, Mike and I had a conversation, we talked, and there's no, I wish them all the best. But he said to me, all you do is post old shit and you're difficult to work with. And when he said that,
that's pretty brutal to hear, especially from a longtime friend. I'm sure.
That was the last straw, and I said, you know what? If that's how you feel, watch what the fuck I'm going to do. And you take a man. My whole life I've been in
sick, and then you did it.
I've been in survival mode my whole life, but I never had a plan. So I said, I'm gonna implement a plan, and I'm gonna go with my determination, my will. Like I'm intrinsically motivated. I don't need to extract any kind of motivation from anybody. I love watching everybody ride. I have plenty of favorite riders, but I don't need one drop of inspiration from anybody. When it's time for me to go, it's time to go. So the day after Christmas, I went out. So I'm gonna give myself 6 months. If I can't make it happen in 6 months, I'll go off, I'll fade out, I'll ride my bike, I'll just be like a weekend warrior or whatever, get a normal job.
Kick off that bodybuilding career.
Exactly. Yeah. So
that's fucking sick though, dude. Like just you're like, hey, this is Brad 3.0. I'm gonna fucking do it for 6 months. If it works, like,
you know,
if not, fuck it.
Like, I'm not gonna think about the outcome.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna work, and I know it's gonna make me a stronger person, you know, throughout the journey. And I just worked. I went out every day. I still go out. If I go out, I don't care. We can go out right now, and I'll find something. I'll probably do it. And I didn't have a filmer. It was just whoever was with me who had a camera, who knew something about. They knew how to. If you know how to point a camera at me, and you could follow me for 25 feet, I'll let you film. I had a random lady at a park one day film something for me. She was there with her kids. She's like, "Excuse me, can you film this for me?" She's like, "Yes." All right. I was like, "This is what I'm going to do," and she filmed it.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Literally everybody is a cameraman these days, though, with the cell phone. So you're obsolete, Justin.
And it's amazing, dude. I've had some core BMXers be like, "That's crazy what Brad does, but man, like, I want to see video parts from him." And I go, "Look at what he's doing." And I said that thing. I was like, "He's got medals in X Games. He's put out bangers. He's been on every trip, and he still wasn't getting what he deserved because of whatever the misconceptions were about you from the past, the traveling, where you've had 90% of the company say no. And look what you did. You went on Instagram. You just said, "Fuck it. I'm going to film the clips I want to film, and I'm going to put them out. I'm not going to think about any sort of brackets of what clips go where." And you go out with Justin and make video parts. So it's like, and I explained that to him, and they're like, "Holy shit. Okay. Like, that does make sense." I'm like, "Yeah, look at it. Look at the bigger picture, what he's doing." And he's like the fan favorite. Everybody loves you. Everybody always did. But now with this Instagram thing, it's like, I have friends, they're like, "Who should I follow on BMX?" And I'm like, "Check this guy." And they're like, "Oh, I already follow him." And they're not even bike riders, you know? Like my friend from Oakland was like, "I know this guy." Yeah. My friends always send me videos of him. Yeah. I'm like, "Fuck, dude, you're big."
Yeah.
Like, I purposely wanted to, like, that was the plan. I was like, I want to, people, okay, oh, he must be saving something. Like, no, I'm not saving anything. Like, if I see it, I want to do it. Like, I'm going to purposely blur the lines of what it means to, if you feel like you want to throw your mediocre clips online, then keep doing that. But I know the dudes that I follow, I don't follow them. I follow them because they're my friends, but also I follow them because they do dope stuff. I don't think people just follow you because you post mediocre clips, because you don't. You post bangers. You want to see dope stuff. I don't just follow a guy because he does feeble grinds on a small ledge, 180s or whatever. You follow crazy accounts.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're your friends.
So I want to talk about like the writing itself. Like, because I feel like it's definitely you, but I feel like it's like a new version of you. You know, like you've always been such a powerful rider, but like just like the nose wedge stuff on benches and
even bringing it back to like the parts he was filming with Christian, they were like, you'd sit there for an hour and just boom, send a banger. And now it's like, you've just kind of seems like you're doing the craziest shit, but it's just natural and fun to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stuff that
it's like organic but a bit refined, but still creative. And
yeah, it's stuff that like
you find a 6 foot tall rock and you're like, "Oh, that's my spot."
Yeah,
instead of like
Disaster 5 this thing, you know, yeah. like it's just how Dennis said, like it's something that you don't necessarily need to ride BMX to go like that was fucking impressive.
Exactly, and I think that's authentically you too. You say you have all these people you think are dope, but you don't have anybody that you look at and like, "Oh, I got to go do that." That's why you can tell with your riding it's so authentic. And do you think do you just see these things and it's just natural, or is it like you go out thinking like, "All right, I want to disaster this rock or manual 180 up and over this 6 foot fucking thing"?
I see those things. I see people, and I think I take from I'll steal from any and every rider I see. I'll take something.
Just
from
inspiration, you know. You just take a little inspiration.
I see it.
Stealing. He's saying stealing. No,
inspiration.
You can take it, but I look at it more. What Picasso said? He said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." Yeah. So if I take something from you, I'll make sure I try to embroider on it to make it. So I'll try to re-engineer it to make it work for me. So I took it from you. Well, it was like a bit of inspiration. Like I grabbed it, but I might take it to the street. It may never hasn't been done in the street, so I'll take it there or somewhere else. It's just I think I just found a way to reinvent myself without having to do gnarly stuff all the time. Like the way I rode during the X Games videos is not how I really want to ride. That's more of an act.
Mm-hmm.
I can ride that way, but how I'm riding right now is the best version of me. And that's how I kind of found a new wave of just reinventing myself.
It's beautiful. It's like even with the real BMX stuff, I could tell you can do all that stuff, but it was almost driving you crazy. Like just having to find like 10 or 15 bangers every 6 months. Like it was nuts by the end of it. Like you were just
dangerous.
It's dangerous. You're looking at crazy shit, and you thought you had to do it for a gold medal. Would you go back now if you had a second chance of like a video contest to ride more authentic, like the stuff you post on Instagram, or would it be back to like, all right, I'm doing this again?
If I went back for a third video, it would be more tech gnarly.
Yeah.
More the stuff that just makes you question like, what's possible.
That's what you're doing right now too.
Yeah.
That's what I would go for, because the risk is there, but it's low. But it's me doing tricks that no one would think.
Well, the risk is
possible.
low for you because that's your shit. That's your specialty. But for me, if I tried any of that, I'd be like, oh, that's how I get hurt. like stuff
when I
none of that makes sense to me.
It's like do you remember like the post when the manual tap gap to wall?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It'd be more stuff like that, or big G turns over rails. I would just kind of
to you, like you said,
that up.
It's a lower level of risk, but that's just because I think that's exactly what you do. And when you were trying to like grind hard 180 into a little hole in San Francisco when it was freezing cold, it was like you were just pushing it.
God, I was getting
that was insane,
melted.
dude. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It was
Did
this grind.
that footage come out?
I think the fall came out maybe. And something.
The slams are out.
Yeah.
It was this grind hard 180 and like literally, it's like a 20 stair and he was gonna land it. Like the rollout would have been pulled in this little hole. When you were
in this room,
it was so small. I was like, dude,
What do
that's
you
the
mean?
grind
This
hard.
room
180?
is huge.
This room is huge. 10 by 10 maybe. But yeah, you were doing stuff like that where I was like sitting there watching, just like, dude, I would try and help pump you up, but at the same time, I'm like, this is insane, Brad. Like this is like literally a stunt. But I knew he could do it because I've seen him do shit where I'm like, I don't know if that's possible, and he just does it. Like the manual tap 180 on that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember running up and being like, you fucking got this, and you just.
I was like, shh, everybody. I was like, don't say nothing.
But I kept saying stuff.
No, you didn't say it after the first try.
Okay.
But yeah, we sat there and I was like, please, like nobody say anything.
His approach to things is really cool. It's like he'll just sit there. It's like he almost meditates on it for a long time, and you're like, I don't think he's gonna do this, and then boom, go for it. Like after running up to it 100 times, and just like it's not like you're freaking yourself out. He just figures it out, and then you're ready for it. And it's hard for me not to go up and like amp you up because that's how I am. Like, dude, get this, Brad, you got it. You're just like, Dennis, I'm gonna do it when I'm gonna do it. I'm down there like, go, you got it, man.
Going back to the writing itself, do you think that there's some of the stuff you put out, you're thinking about, you're disregarding what core BMX would like? You know, like sometimes I feel like some of it's like
I said, the core kids were confused when they were bringing up Brad. Like, how is he just posting this stuff every day? Like, where's it?
Well, like like there's stuff where I'm trying to think. Like
some of it's almost like trials-esque.
Yeah, like I mean, but that's what I mean. That's always been Brad. I remember when what's Danny McAskill? Like when his very first video, like the very first one. Of course, I was being a fucking hater, and Danny McAskill is awesome. Like I've actually met him. He's amazing bike rider. I've met him in person. He's super fucking cool. But like when the video first came out, I was like, Brad could do all of that stuff. Like Brad could do every single clip in this video.
For people who don't know, too, Fudger is BMX or die.
Yeah,
mountain bike day.
Yeah, what do you?
I love all the sports, but Fudger, he'll have some.
Everything.
I
love everything.
He is BMX salt.
No, I'm not.
No,
He said BMX salt.
I'm not salty about it.
It's a good thing. BMX needs
No,
that.
I love BMX more than anything else. That's not
what I'm
salty.
saying.
Yeah.
No.
But it
you
was
hate
but I was just saying,
also.
I'm just saying, I don't hate anything. Hate is such a strong word.
No, you don't.
Get me
Sorry.
off the rails
I do
here,
this to
dude.
Fudger sometimes.
Yeah. I know it's going to come up eventually. So you brought up the fact that it was like kind of trials-esque, but that's always been in your wheelhouse, you know, like when the Danny Mexico video came out, it was like I saw stuff that Brad could do, and like the way it was done, and I was like, Brad could do all of that stuff, like, and so it seems like it's like a plus, like, I don't know how to ask the question, but I just feel like sometimes some of the stuff you're like, I know this trick will do well on Instagram.
Oh, I know exactly how to play with the algorithm.
Like, hey, this isn't necessarily cool,
Okay.
but I know this will do well on Instagram. And like, so you're disregarding, you know, fucking Rat Kid's gonna send you a text and be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, but like,
I feel like sometimes it's like a feat of athleticism, even more
exactly.
so over like
Perfect. Thank you.
bike riding. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you sat down, Justin. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah,
Like,
I will purposely do something just because I know it'll create an uproar.
yeah,
I know, like, I would never put in a video part.
yeah.
But you know, like to say, it's social media, Instagram, you know, whatever. So I'll throw it on there. I've had people call me an Instagram rider.
Yeah.
Like riders that have blown up. I'm like, you came up during the Instagram era. Like, how can you call me an Instagram rider when, I mean, without Instagram, I wouldn't know who you are. Like,
Exactly.
there are a
Yeah.
lot of 3/4 of the new generation. I wouldn't know 3/4 of the new generation without Instagram.
Yeah, that's where things are.
And that's pretty funny to call you an Instagram rider when you've done it through props, through DVDs, through
Yeah.
old shit, you know, where there was the magazines, everything, where you didn't hear about anybody until the next part came out and the next magazine photo came out. So you can call you an everything kind of rider. You've done all chapters of it.
Yeah, it's
point.
pretty wild. I'm like,
Multimedia.
all right, that's how you feel.
Yeah.
If you think I'm an Instagram rider,
I mean,
cool.
there's always going to be people that, you know.
Honestly, that's a
you know,
compliment.
that
Like,
love,
cool.
that,
2020,
that want
like-
video parts. You know,
But that
Justin
almost
loves video parts.
I've been on
Brings up-
Rofuls and I've done blowing up my Instagram now,
Yeah.
so middle
So-
finger up to that.
I love parts. I love it all.
Yeah.
You know, I just knew that I had to do something, so I did it.
Yeah.
And Instagram gives you immediate gratification.
So what was the result, and how did that 6 months pass without anything happen? Like, how did it come to fruition that you're still here instead of being a weekend warrior?
During the time, I thought, I'll ride, and I won't think about the outcome as much. I'm just going to do the work, keep riding, and see. At first, I was working just to see if somebody would come and, you know, if I get some phone calls, some emails, some messages. But nothing was happening. I was like, well, this is kind of weird. So I stopped thinking about it. So I stopped thinking about it. That's when I was really reaching out to people, and not much was going on. Then I was riding around with Tom a bunch, and Tom was just throwing stuff over to Fit. They started talking. So yeah, big shout out to Tom.
Tom Dugan.
You know, and everybody who was in a position of power or riding for his company is like, man, you should have this, you should have that. But nobody was actually
Ponying up.
No, not at all. Tom stood up, and you know he
He made it happen.
Yeah, he couldn't make it happen. I mean, he presented them an opportunity, and they took the ball, they ran with it.
Nice.
And so that's what happened in May. I picked up Fit, and things have been going great. And some other cool things in the works that you'll all be hearing about in the near future.
Awesome. So things are coming.
I'm
And
interested.
And that's got to be encouraging for kids listening, because you hear kids say they get so discouraged, like, I put out 2 video parts, and all their friends will be like, why isn't he coming up? Brad Sims was having trouble looking for sponsors at one point, you know? Like, kids, it's a small little niche-y world. Like, you can do it, but you've even had to keep putting in work over and over again to revamp the career. It's like, it's not that easy. It's a small little world, you know?
Difficult, incredibly, and it should be difficult.
It should.
There's a reason why.
You're getting paid to have fun. So to get up there, it's hard work.
Yeah, it's a reason why you're sponsored. You know, if I would look around and every sponsored rider was mediocre, I'm like, well, then I would start questioning. But when I see you, I'm like, yeah, I know why Dennis is there.
Thanks.
When I see this guy, I'm like, yeah, I know why he's shooting photos for Nat Geo or wherever. You see the work. The work is there.
Yeah.
You know, you're not looking at somebody he just does feeble grind to manual 180 off curbs. Like, I have questions then.
Good
You
point.
know?
Yeah. When you look around, you're in the van. You're like, you get out at a rail, and you're like, everybody I'm on this trip with is fucking sick. Like, it's cool, and there's really sick kids that aren't sponsored yet, but it takes consistency, throwing it in people's faces, video parts, Instagram. Like, you gotta just show that you're not here for a year or two and you're gonna be over it. Because there's been so many people like that.
Do you think you're a better rider now than you've ever been in your entire life? I honestly like how Brad takes a minute and really thinks
Me
about
too.
it. I think it's cool.
He's still thinking.
Not at everything.
No?
I think I'm a better street rider now.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think.
You haven't done a tail whip like 8 feet out of a quarter in a while.
I was a better all around rider 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a much better street rider now.
But you probably do you feel better on your bike? Do you feel like you have more control than ever? Like I think just I'm going in the direction of like longevity and stuff like that. So, I'm older than you and I don't feel better anymore. I don't know. I feel like I peaked out a little, but I just need to ride more.
No, I feel great. But during the first I'm glad you brought that up, because when I first started going out and filming those clips every day from like after Christmas, it took, I want to say 4.5 or maybe 5 months for my body to stop being sore.
So you're just breaking through the soreness and getting another one and getting another one.
And now I'm fine. I feel good. But it took 4.5, 5 months of just riding every day at that level. And kids think that most riders go out, like dudes that are sponsored are out dropping hammers every day. That's not the case. But I was out riding 7-8 hours every day, and it took a toll on me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But after 5 months, it was gone. I just woke up one morning, my body was like no longer sore.
You've turned into like a calloused machine, and I can't get sore anymore.
Yeah, I would get up in the morning, I'd stretch, I'd do something. I'm like, man, nothing's working. Then finally, everything just kind of just went away.
That's cool. Has the Instagram thing produced any like weirdness? Like have you gotten like mattress deals or mud water, or like do you get, because I don't remember you posting anything like that, and I feel like if you were, in the beginning, if you were selling posters to make some money and like some stuff like that was coming up, that I feel like you would have probably done it if you needed that, if that money presented itself. And I feel like
I've had some weird stuff come to me. I've had nicotine companies offer me stuff. I mean, like a lot of money. I'm like, oh my God, I do not smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, I could use $10,000 right now. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna turn this down. But like cigarette companies.
Cigarette companies? I've never heard of that one. You get cigarette companies hit you up?
No, Rick Thorne's on a vape company though, so that's like a similar thing I've heard. And he gets
Yeah,
paid really
yeah,
good.
I guess vape,
but he
yeah,
actually likes
yeah.
vaping, so it's
Yeah.
organic for him.
Yeah.
He vapes and reps it, but
Okay.
you not smoking would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
That vape stuff.
But you never posted any of
Energy
that stuff.
bar?
Like I always think of like, there's a couple of dudes that like got free mattresses and stuff like that, and it's like,
Oh yeah, Nathan got.
Oh, yeah, Nathan,
yeah,
right,
but I
yeah.
mean like Colin too and stuff like that. I'm not knocking anybody, but like I always
take a
think of that.
mattress.
Like I'll fucking take a
Yeah,
mattress.
fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
Mattress company,
Especially for
sponsor
Nathan,
podcast.
because he's so chill and he doesn't really care about any of that stuff. He's such like a raw rider. But he's like, Matt, hell yeah. Let's go see some mattress."
Imagine if
Just
we were
like to
sponsored
sleep,
by
you know?
like a mattress company, and I was like, "Thanks for coming, Brad. Here's your free mattress."
Yes. Everybody, as soon as you walk through to get a low bed.
That'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
A sponsor to stoke the guest out. I like that idea.
that'd be
Any
great.
mattress companies listening, we
Yeah.
could, Justin
We're
and
good.
Brad, we could hook them up after
Yeah.
this.
I need California King.
Take that.
California King. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like if you were at, I wouldn't say a low, but like you're, and as I said earlier, your career has gone in waves. Like if you're in a lull, your bank account's low, and you're getting these like weird offers, I don't feel like I've ever seen you take a deal like that. So
No, I haven't.
yeah.
I've done some clothing things
Okay.
for people, like some repost stuff. What else? I did this thing like sparkling ice a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
I just had to post. It was just a photo of me sitting next to a bottle and a 2-story post, and that was cool. They paid me money.
Cool.
And I did. And about 2 months ago, this app some challenge app. I do like a foot plant thing,
Oh yeah. I saw that.
and they pay money. So.
Energy bar, something like that.
So he's got some cool
Yeah, so
gigs,
all
but he
right, so
keeps
maybe
it chill that you don't-
maybe you're just
No.
doing it right, so it doesn't
doing
like
it right,
stand
yeah.
out, or
And
like,
he posts a badass clip like almost every day.
That's true,
So it's
yeah.
like even if he had to
Just
post
lost
a
in the
mattress, it would
shuffle.
just disappear the next day because you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a half cab whip across the street.
what's the,
Don't remember the mattress thing anymore.
It seems like you have this like you find a spot and then you just fucking destroy it. Like one clip and then it's like, oh, here comes the onslaught of like, like that wall ride I'm always thinking of is like wall ride 1 foot table, wall ride, like wall ride bar, wall ride 1 foot X, and then like I seen
With
you
the
that
rock.
yeah, the rock,
Yeah.
like so is how many clips do you get in a single day? Like, is it all one day, or do you actually like go like, oh, I'm going back, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, fuck, I can do that,
Sometimes I'll go to a spot and I'll blow it out the same day,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll just film one clip and I'll go back the next day.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what, enough wall rides for today or this week, and I'll go back to it the following. So I end up doing it, or I'll film maybe 2 things in different places throughout the day. Sometimes I'll get 3. If I get 2 or
there's
3,
a little bit of a strategy then, huh?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
content rollout.
Yeah. Or sometimes I'll do 2 in a day.
Yeah.
It's just I know what works on there, and the people who I feel like now like the tech, like the super tech ledge riding, which I think is cool, is not me.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really work for my style of riding. But I feel like kids, or at least from on my platform, they want to see me do what I do.
Yeah,
they
of
want to
course,
see
yeah.
me like go high in the air, jump over something, or grind something big, or
Show the fucking muscles that no
Yeah.
one else.
Well,
they
yeah,
don't
that's the thing. Is
understand
that
that
you
when
have such a good background of like
Well, you got
racing
no
and
gravity
riding
on you
trails and
sometimes.
park, and that you have all those tricks that are like, like the manual Superman is obviously like thinking of that, and it's like people don't even see you do a Superman.
Just
They don't even know. They didn't even know you could do it, and then you're like,
It's like the combination freaks everyone out. Like manualing up that ledge is crazy, and then to pop off that high is crazy, and then a Superman.
Yeah.
It's like, where did?
yeah.
But
That was funny because I hadn't done a Superman. I was like 17,
yeah, that's what I mean.
but I knew the muscle
you
memory
got
and
it,
stuff.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
How do we
Woo,
get?
cat.
How do you get on World Star, dude?
gotta
I
shut
feel
that
like you should have been on there by now. What's up with that?
I think I need to do that while dribbling a basketball.
No, but they post like random ass BMX clip, like the Russian dude, the twins.
Oh, Max or Igor?
Yeah, like they got
Yeah.
on there a couple of times, and I'm like, how does this?
Do they pay
put
for that though?
No, they don't, because it doesn't say like
The
sponsored.
right
Under-
person's just got to see it.
Yeah, I guess.
Gotta get lucky, I
I
guess.
just think it's. I just clip is dope. No shot. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
it's just a cool fucking BMX clip. Like, and where I feel like your type of riding like transcends, a wider audience than that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a rail ride. Like, but no. Again, no shots.
Hit 'em up,
And
Fudger.
Rue is here.
Hit him up. Hit up World
I
Star.
don't, should I? Yeah. I have to
You want him on there. What else you got going on? You came back out here last time. Everyone who was saying you don't make video parts anymore, you shut them the hell up and made a sick video part in like a week, it seemed like. During COVID, when nobody else was doing anything, it was just like, all right, Workhorse is working still. Like in the middle of it, you were filming crazy Instagram clips and making that edit, like all in the same trip.
How do you
like,
choose? Yeah, because I know
That,
it's got to be
yeah.
hard for Justin sometimes, like where he's like, I would film that. Why can't I?
Brad,
why can't
Brad,
I film it? Why can't I just film
film
it and then afterwards I'll just give you the clip for
True,
Instagram?
True. That's got to
Like,
drive
that
you.
type of thing.
That's got to make you like, what do I film? What do I not film?
Because I knew I'd have to wait for the clip.
He got a lot. All right.
Because I knew I wanted to post a certain time
Yeah.
throughout the day. And I knew like, the traffic it would pick up. So,
Yeah.
like if Justin filmed it,
Oh, you're on that level.
well, I was.
Yeah.
I had to like be methodical about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if he was filming, I'm like, hey, you film this for the phone. I need this right now. But if he was filming with a camera, I knew I'd have to wait till we go back to the house for him to upload it, then send it to me. So it might be like 5-6 hours. That's how it was.
Instant gratification.
Hey, focused though. He knew how. It
No,
worked.
yeah,
He was
it's-
coming back up again for the 15th time in his career, and he knew how to do it. And that real camera was slowing his ass down.
Shoot.
But then
Gotta get the
it's like,
Bluetooth.
but seriously though, you're filming dope clips, and the edit came out not too long after, and it was like, wow, he was filming Instagram clips and made this whole edit.
And that was in like 10 days, I think.
10 days, and
Yeah.
almost every day, probably every day, if I'm not wrong, you had an Instagram clip, and then an edit that pop the fuck off. Like in the middle of no one filming fresh edits at the time. Everyone was kind of finishing up edits or whatever, but you just made a whole video in the middle of coronavirus.
People weren't riding at all.
People, people were here, but Austin, I think, was a little more locked up.
Austin was super locked down.
Yeah.
And I would go out riding, and I'm looking around like, man, it is a real ghost town. And I was out every day. There wasn't a day I didn't go out during the whole, like, during the beginning of COVID or whatever. I was like, some people say, like, oh, this is the worst year ever. And I know this year has been tough for people. You know, some have lost loved ones. This year has been really interesting.
Yeah. It's been a good year to be a street rider because it is the bus factor is, I mean, I think we've said this like every podcast.
All-time low.
Yeah, the bus factor is literally an all-time low. And then now when you interact with cops, it's like, they're like, hey, how you doing? Like, they're really, really nice for some reason.
And
right
people,
now.
like we've said before on the podcast, like you roll up to a spot and they're like, yeah, ride my rail in front of my house. We haven't got to leave the house in forever. We've been
They need some entertainment.
The kids want to come watch,
exactly.
you know?
Entertain me for fucking 10 minutes, please.
Yeah, I agree with you, though.
Yeah.
This, I mean, how would you say this year has been for you? Are you pessimistic about it? Are you stoked on it? Are you right in the middle?
I'm stoked. I say this year's been great. This has been one of the best years of my life.
Agreed. That's awesome
Hell
to
yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
That's
you said,
awesome.
it sucks for the people who've lost loved ones and the sad shit that goes on with losing jobs and everything. But if you had a good year, then
And you got
had a good year.
2 NORA Cup nominations. So
When's the last time you had a NORA Cup nomination?
Ooh, I think 2007, 2008, because I had a nominee for.
You motherfucker! It's been over a decade and you
Yeah.
are shining hard again. Yes,
Yeah, I had
you've been
that.
shining hard, but now 2 NORA Cup nominations.
I had a nominee for. It was for video part of the year for Shook.
Oh wow!
Then
2007. That was
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Then Street
That
Rap.
must have been the first year that we did video part then, if my memory serves me correct.
Probably. I didn't. I was
Because we did video part before video. This is a little known fact. We did video part before video, like introduced, like in NORA Cup, like video part of the year. And we didn't do video of the year because it was the same year that Drop the Hammer came out, and we didn't want to like people to talk shit on us that we did video and then Drop the Hammer wins. So it was like, so then we didn't do video that year. They were like, oh, we need to do this for the riders, and then we'll.
You're a
do
good
video.
man, Fudger.
Yeah, but, so obviously never won an NORA Cup.
Nope. Never been nominee. Only nominees.
All right. Maybe
Can we?
maybe try one out, Brad.
When do we get to hear the winners?
Try it out.
Try what out?
Grab that one.
You want me to walk over there and grab that?
Yeah,
What does
grab
it
that
weigh?
one.
Nah.
Try it out. Hold it.
Something
See what
going
it feels
on.
like.
What are you doing? What's happening here?
So let's see.
I think Fudger's just teasing Brad, making him feel a NORA Cup, getting him
See
excited
what it's
in
like.
case he might win or not. Who's this?
Is it heavy?
What's that say? Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Look at this.
Dude.
I had to put some stuff in it to make you think that it wasn't like on display.
Damn.
Congrats, Brad.
Thank
I
you.
didn't know
Reader's
about
Choice
that.
Rider
I
of
was
the
literally
year.
Like, what are you
I was
doing?
like, I don't need to tell
got
Dennis.
it
I don't need
in
to tell
a second.
Dennis.
I was like, oh shit, yes.
Congrats, sir.
Dude.
Thank you.
No way.
Yeah.
Glad we can make that happen
I was
for you.
literally, I kind of got onto it a few, like 30 seconds in, but I was like, when are you going to announce everything? Damn, Reader's Choice.
Oh yeah, dude. Sorry, just
The gold in there?
I legit, I do have a blank NORA Cup up there all the time.
He does,
And this stuff was in there, so I was like, oh, I'll just put this stuff back
That's
in
why
there.
in the
So
beginning I was
swapped
like, you're
it out.
being so weird. What are you doing? Fudger would never do something this weird.
You want to get in my cup? Come here. Come get in my
Damn,
Yeah.
Come get
Brad.
in my
What?
Hell yeah, dude.
Amazing.
Hey, long time coming.
Dude, oh my God. It's like your third career round and you just won a NORA Cup. Holy shit.
I mean, best year ever. I figured we would couldn't get any better than that. So
I'm happy.
sorry, England couldn't happen, but
man, that makes me want to. I'm got tears of happiness coming out. It's amazing, Brad. Dude.
I mean, hell yeah, dude. I mean, coming from like being like, I'm gonna give it this 6 months, and then fucking, and if it doesn't work,
Yo.
then fucking, but
I was close, man. When I say 6 months, I was like, I'm gonna give you 5. I'm gonna go hard for 5, and the 6th month was gonna be me. I mean, really swinging.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have to do that. I mean, I'll save that for when I actually want to do another video part.
Yeah.
But I really thought about just kind of stepping away and just, going off and doing something else.
Well,
But
I mean, hopefully you're fucking here for a long ass time. Like.
Yeah, man.
I think-
You said you're 34 now.
Yeah.
You reinvented yourself once again, and you feel better than you ever have. You say you're not all around riding the exact same as you have, but as a street rider, and that's what you're professional at.
I feel good riding everything. It's just I'm riding street 90% of the
Yeah.
time. But if I go
That's
ride,
what happens when
Saw
you
you on the
start.
trails the other day.
Yeah.
And if you went to the trails twice a week, you'd probably be back to, or the skate park twice a week, whatever.
Oh, last time I was with my friend Brandon, my best friend. He lives in Maryland, and we're talking. And during the whole thing, he's sitting there, and he's incredibly quick-witted. He always has something to say. But this time around, he didn't have a whole lot to say. The very first time, because I had the same thing happen right before I got sponsored by Hoffman. This was right after Shook. And I was
With your buddy, he was not as quick-witted anymore? What
No,
do you
he
mean
was-
the same thing that happened?
we were talking because I thought about stepping away. I was like,
Okay.
I'm going to go get a job and just work because I don't know about this BMX stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time it happened. He said, man, I don't know if I were you. Like, you've been riding for, during that time, I think I had like 12 years, or 12 to 15 years of riding. And he said, you've been riding for a long time. If I were you, I would stick to it.
Yeah.
Stick with it. Like, you put in that much hard work, you might as well do it. Then, like 6 months ago, we're in the same boat again. I'm like, I don't know, man. He goes, well, what are you going to do? And he said, man, look, you can work as hard as you can for 10 years, but if you don't see it through to the 11th, you'll never know.
It's fucking true.
So
It's 100% true.
That's insane. So you've already had those. I mean, I guess that happens with anyone, especially a career that's been almost 20 years long, being a full-on professional bike rider. Like, you're going to have those thoughts. Am I going to keep doing it? And it's crazy. And then after that, those thoughts, it all came back pretty hardcore after that, right? Like, after the first times you thought you were going to kind of think about whatever else you could do and just be the weekend warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another full swing, another revamp. So kids, don't quit.
Exactly.
Things that you love. Like,
I just wanted to see, like,
see it
what
through.
would happen if I don't give up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But you can't be a professional bike rider forever, but if you still have the fire in you, then then fucking fight for it, of course, So yeah, I like to see Brad look at it.
Honestly, to me, since you guys started this award, this is the most amazing award to win because it means, the other NORA Cups are amazing because it's voted on by the dudes in the industry, the pros, the people in the industry, but this one is voted by the outside.
Yeah.
The kids,
Yeah.
the
readers, the riders,
Not even kids, just
our
like,
peers,
that's
also our
fucking
peers.
amazing.
I mean, you said you voted for Readers' Choice
I'm
as
a
well.
reader, yes.
So it's definitely, this is like, you see it in the Instagram comments for all the NORA Cup stuff on
Brad,
YouTube,
Brad,
on Instagram.
Brad. The fans
So,
got you.
Yeah, so it's
Sick.
like,
I didn't tell anybody to vote. I didn't say, hey,
Which is exactly how you
no,
should
we
win.
don't. Yeah,
Doesn't
we don't.
matter.
And it's another amazing thing too, because normally it goes to like Tyler Fernangle's got it, Chad got
Yeah,
it when
Chad
he was
got
blowing
it.
up. Garrett,
Boyd,
I think
Boyd got it last year.
Boyd got it when
Yeah.
he's in his first big year of
Yeah.
turning pro. But I think aside from you and Garrett, you guys are the only like stapled pros who have had long careers that have won it. So that's like really special because normally they give like the readers pick a new kid.
Yeah.
And you're
You are a new kid. It's Brad 3.0.
It's Brad 3.0, but you ain't a new boy. You've been
Yeah.
in the sport forever.
this is special to me.
Oh yeah,
This
man.
is a special one for me.
amazing.
You deserve it. So
Thank you.
I'm glad it worked out. Like
That was
obviously,
cool.
yeah.
Good.
So
Did you know Justin?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Justin.
I'm the only.
I had
we both didn't
to.
know.
I had to keep quiet with him,
Yeah.
man. It was tough.
Yeah.
I think I kind of got the clue when I looked at you and you seemed like you knew what was going on. You're just cheesing over there. He's winning the award.
Hell
oh
yeah.
man.
I don't know where to go from there. I mean, do we end it?
How's everything? Is there any? What are you guys doing right now?
I
Are
had
you
my, I had
making
my,
a
I had
part?
my, I had my
Um,
secret GoPro set up too.
Oh,
I got
wow.
both sides. So that's why
Sick.
I was like on the phone, like, all right, turn on the fucking GoPro.
Brad's got a signature pair of bars coming out.
Oh,
for
yes.
Fit.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
That's what.
he's in town. Probably going to shoot a little promo for that. going to Denver on Monday for a
Wow.
week or so.
Cool.
Can drive out, ride stuff along the way. So
Road trip.
yeah.
Whole fit team, or as many guys as you can get
Yeah,
together?
a good bunch of them. Not the whole team, but
Cool.
a little solid crew.
What's it like? You know, Brad is really good at traveling. Obviously, like, how is he on a trip? Is he
The best one
yeah?
to travel with. I don't know. No headaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because these situations that might be a little bit uncomfortable are just so not
Yeah.
even close to uncomfortable after you've done all these
a
wild
10
adventures.
a 10-hour car ride compared to a 20-hour train ride in Indonesia is
Yeah.
probably pretty
Yeah.
chill.
Chilling.
Yeah, I think the worst thing I've ever done was be on a train in Russia for like 14 hours or
Oh,
something.
God.
It was
Sounds
so on a
grueling.
sleeper train.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, it sucked. So it was the saddest I've ever seen Kevin Perazzo. That says a lot.
That does say a lot. 'cause
Smile's
Kevin-
not
I
there.
looked at him and I was like, oh my god, this does suck.
I've never even seen him sad.
Yeah,
so
that was it
you're
was
like,
real.
This is breaking Kevin's joy. It must
Yeah.
be that bad.
Yeah,
his
it was
smile's only
bad.
like half. You're like,
Yeah.
uh-oh, he's not fully happy anymore.
So, yeah, is there plans with Fit? I mean, you said you had a couple other things going on, so I assume you can't say anything yet.
No, I
but-
can't. I wish I would love to
Yeah.
see, but soon though.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm unbelievably hyped that we can surprise you with that, and you deserve it. And I think it means the world to me to give that to you. You know, I've known you for 16 years or something, 17 years, whatever. You know, Binghamton keeping me up all night snoring when you're 15 to give you that is super cool for me. So,
Thank
congrats.
you, man. I'm lost for words.
Hell
But
yeah.
Thank you.
Shout out to anyone who's got Brad's back too, because you've been through a lot, and like I think a lot of times companies just hearing reasons why not to sponsor you, which is bullshit, but just the gossip and saying, oh, he's not reliable, he's in this country all the time. But these companies that did, with the help of Tom and then Fit picking you up and really letting you shine even harder, and then that gives other companies opportunities to see like, oh wow, like he's repping well with Fit, like, so that just gets the ball rolling. So shout out to anyone who's had your back in the Brad 3.0 career.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all the love. Anybody who has left a positive comment, even people who left negative comments.
Yeah.
Appreciate all.
Motivators too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't take criticism from anybody. If you're not on my panel, then I'm not. Seriously though,
Who's on your panel? Brett, Dan.
Who's Brett and Dan?
Just like
Oh, okay.
like my closest friends.
Oh, okay, your friend.
I'm sure it's the same for you. You're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody who might try to critique what you're doing is an actual hater. You can't do nothing about the ones that are really hating.
Yeah.
But you can it's constructive criticism. You either take it and learn something from it, change, or you can look at it as a personal attack and fade away. So, I mean, it's your choice. And when I was, I remember you were talking to Dakota and you asked him if what I had done on Instagram over the past 6 months, if I had backed myself into a corner. And I said, well, the corner that I back myself into now is much better than the hole I had to climb out of.
Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I have to ride hard, I like riding hard. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that,
not like it's
that
not
level
like
that level you set for yourself, but like
it's your level. Anyways.
that's your level, like that's your shit. You're fucking.
Yeah, you've maximized your own potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And
Oh.
by doing that, you're just going to keep getting better and better by pushing yourself every day to get a clip that you're satisfied with, because you just want your shit to look good too. It's not like you're going to start one downing yourself. You're just going to keep climbing the ladder.
I'm gonna start one downing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going back to just doing just normal stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for that wall
Normal
ride. That
Brad
wall ride.
Pitt.
That
Superman.
makes a lot of sense with all your focus and everything. Just start one downing yourself and putting out
That's something
shit you're
way,
not
way,
stoked
way
on.
better than that.
Oh, do you?
I'll show you.
Hell yeah.
What'd you post today? Did you post something today yet?
Nah, nothing today.
They're about
Are-
to go
are you
get.
going
They're about
to?
to go get one.
We're
right
going.
now.
We're going to go ride downtown with DeMarcus, Jaron, and all those guys.
He's going to get something.
Yeah.
It's going to be sick.
You coming out or what?
Brad spots.
My foot's been a little messed up.
Brad,
I haven't rode in 2 weeks, to be honest.
weeks?
No,
It-
2 weeks.
The ramp. Dennis's ramp is not in downtown.
Yeah. I was actually going to mop the ramps and start riding again. That was the plan today. If you want to come out to those this evening after you get your banger
Oh,
downtown.
Fucking roasted
Sick.
tail.
You
All
love
right.
the ramps, dude. I know we talked about already.
Man, that's probably me night riding, right?
In the evening.
Evening.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have lights.
I want to get LASIK soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Once it gets a little dark, you're done.
LASIK, hook me up.
LASIK sponsored the podcast for Brad.
You had a couple nightclubs in Shook.
That was a long time ago.
His
His eyes were good.
That was no, they weren't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm usually like.
I forgot about that.
I'm usually like my depth perception is usually 2 or 3 feet off.
Wow.
It's just intuitive. You've just been riding so long.
Yeah.
Like I use all my senses. I'm like, smells like a rail. It looks like.
Got the strawberry wax that I put on it.
Yeah.
Smell the rail to get on it, right?
That's the cucumber mint wax on the rail. Like, yeah, we got it.
Too funny.
But yeah, the ramps are an option if you want to come to them. Are you going to go back up to Long Beach,
Back up to
Santa
Santa
Ana
Ana,
after
yeah.
this? Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
we'll
down
come.
there.
I think we'll come back through before we head out.
Are you here for a bit?
Till Monday.
Oh, you guys are going to go up to Colorado too?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's stuff we can talk about after the podcast. We're making
There-
plans to hang
yeah.
out
Yeah.
while we're being recorded.
Okay. I think that's. Thank you for being you.
Brad, congratulations,
Thanks for
man.
having
Yeah.
me.
This is an amazing thing to see you win the NORA Cup right here. There's
Fuck
no big
yeah.
party, but that was
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
That's Brad
That
winning
was
the
that.
NORA
Now
Cup. Holy
I got
shit.
7 more to give away.
You haven't secretly given any other ones out?
No.
That was the first
Wow.
one.
Yeah,
First one of
first
the year.
one.
Reader's Choice. Congratulations, Brad. Thank you so much for speaking a little bit on the podcast. It's really nice to have you. Always good to hang out with you. It's been a long time. Justin,
Thanks for having
making
me.
Thank you
thanks
for
for
chiming
making
in.
awesome videos and chiming in.
And bringing them down. So making it happen. Justin's the one that made this happen, so I hit Justin up first.
Cool.
At first I hit him up, of course, see if he'd be down, and then Justin orchestrated it for us.
Sweet.
So thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for making it happen. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the Unclicked podcast. Peace and love. Shred with your friends. Brad Sims, you're the man.
Thank you.
Reader's Choice, baby. 2020?
Congrats.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Hell yeah, dude.